Hi guys, my name is Lisa and I'm here to compare the Willow to the Onatural 0.21 pump. Both of these pumps are wearable in your bra cordless pumps, but we're here to compare them and see how well they hold up to the Willow. This is the only competing pump currently other than LV to Willow, and their claims are actually pretty similar to what Willow can offer. So let's do a deep dive and see if it really holds up. So first off, I just kind of want to cover the box a little bit. You'll notice that mine is very beat up. Customs had a really fun time with it, and I was actually missing missing an item from it, so I don't know if they just decided it was nice or if it just happened to not be packed in my box. Your box will have a 24 and a 28 millimeter silicone flange, so it's super soft, very bendable. It's nothing like the hard flanges of Willow. It will also come with 2 duck bills, so it comes with 2, but it only requires 1 because they currently do not sell spare parts including duck bills for this. These are smaller than most of the duck bills that we use for traditional pumps, so it's not like you can plop something else in there. It will of course come with the milk container cup, the motor, and then it has the membrane, which reminds me of a Medela Sonata, but it's kind of cut up a little bit to fit the cup. So these are all your pieces. It does charge via USB, and it does come with a UK wall charger, but of course we're not going to be able to use that here. So it will be a USB charging cord for you here in the States. That covers very briefly all of the parts that come with the pump. I am using the 24 millimeter silicone flange because I have custom fitting inserts, which we can discuss here in a minute. Just looking over the box some, I kind of was a little leery of the packaging. The thing about this pump is they just renamed it and relabeled it. It's actually a Youha pump, which you'll see up under the labels and even on the motor. So we discussed the parts that came with it and also obviously what it takes to pump with it. Now let's go over Willow. Willow has a generation 1, 2, and 3. All parts are pretty much the same. The 1 is different from the 2 and the 3, but we won't get into that in this video. So you have the hub of the Willow. Another key point is always going to be your flex tube. So this is the equivalent of like duck bills or membranes for your other pumps. That is what your flex tube does. And then this is the reusable container. So it has an extra part to it versus the bags because Willow can pump into containers or bags, but your container has this insert here and then the actual milk holding compartment. Of course you also have this little tab up here, but it's not that big a deal and it all just stays together. It's very easy and simple. So that's your container pieces, then you add your flex tube to it and you pop it on the hub and you're good to go. The Willow is a wall charging. It does not have a USB charger, so the charger is a bit bulky in the wall plug. That is something that I do consider kind of a con for that, but it's just something to be aware of, whereas everybody has a USB plug at this point, and so it's super easy to charge the 0.21. In terms of function, the Willow has a stimulation and an expression mode. The Gen 2, which is what we're looking at today, stimulation only has 1 level of suction, but the Gen 3, they actually increased that and they gave 3 levels of suction for that. Expression mode has 7 levels for both the Gen 2 and Gen 3. They are pretty strong though, so the likelihood that you actually need all 7 levels is very slim. The 0.21 pump has 3 settings. They have massage, which has 10 levels of suction. They also have expression, which has 10 levels of suction. And then they have a mode called mix. And the mix goes between massage and expression. So commonly what I've found on this pattern is it gives 2 massage suction types and then 1 really long drawn out expression suction. Both of these pumps are wearable, so they fit right in your bra. Both of them claim to be discreet, and both of them claim to be leak-free. Now, the reason I chose the container for this video is because Willow does not claim that the container is leak-free, because it does have an air suction hole right up in here underneath this valve. Their bags are completely leak-free, and you won't have any leakage there. The containers, you can leak if you pump into too high of a level on your ounces, or if you were to bend over too far. There are some tips and tricks, which I'll do in a separate video just for Willow, but just know that when it comes to the containers, it can leak, and the company's not hiding that at all. They do let you know that it is not leak-proof. 0.21 pump claims to be leak-proof as well. However, they don't give you the disclaimer of the fact that they do actually have the exact same air port up here that allows air to come out of the pump. So they're going to go under the same as the Willow containers. You can use it and be completely leak-proof. However, if you bend over too far or if you pump too much into this, it's going to leak on you. And so that is something to be aware of. And it is kind of concerning, because if you were to leak, your hub right here is pushed up right against it, and it's got a hole and a little suction gap there. So if you leak there, it's immediately going to go into your hub, and there's no telling if that's going to actually ruin it or not. Whereas if you leak with the Willow, it's got this whole flap here to protect it and kind of send it down the container, and then also the lip of the Willow kind of prevents it from immediately going into the hub. Not impossible, but it's just something to be aware of. Again, to recap, hard flanges, silicone flanges, both can leak, both claim to be discreet, which we'll do here in a moment, and both have very strong suction. Willow has 7 levels, this has 10 levels on every type. Let's dig into the sound. This side, I have the Willow pump. You can tell that it's definitely something in my bra, so it is pretty large. And then on this side, we have the 0.21. So, both of them are pretty large and bulky. The Willow does stick out just a hair more, but not a whole lot. I haven't seen myself from the front, so we'll see what this video looks like here in a bit. But there's your comparison. Willow on this side, 0.21 on this side. Now for sound. The Willow pump this is the noise and stimulation. It does get a lot quieter once it goes into expression, because it does a lot slower movement. But I'll just let you hear that. Then for the 0.21, so this is the massage setting. This is on level 1 for both of them. This is expression. And then this is the mix blend. So it goes into massage and then stimulation. Massage and then expression. And then this is the expression on Willow. That is when it gulps and puts everything into the container. And then we're back to stimulation. So right now I have Willow and the 0.21 pump going. Just sitting here talking to you, I definitely hear the UK pump over Willow. It's kind of obnoxious in my opinion, but y'all let me know what you think in the comments. The Willow stops actively pumping at 4.3 ounces, whether you're doing bags or containers. There are hacks, and I can discuss those in a separate video, to pump more than that, but that's just where the pump triggers and stops pumping to make sure that there's no risk of overfilling anything. The Onatural pump 0.21 stops at 5 ounces. So it doesn't actually sense that you've hit 5 ounces. It will not stop pumping, but that is what their collection cups are rated for. And if you go higher than that, again, like we discussed, you'll hit that air valve hole and you'll leak. Price difference for the two, you have the 500 for the Willow, which comes with two, or you have the 0.21, which is marked at $226.50 for the US. That's not including tax if you get charged tax. If you were to buy two of them so you can double pump, obviously you're coming in pretty close to that $500 mark with Willow. Not exactly, but close. In comparing suction, I do have custom fitted inserts for both. I'm using Freeme Fit Me inserts. For Willow, you need a much more exact sizing, so I'm using 15 millimeters on that size, and I am using 17 millimeters with the Onatural pump. I did try a multiple range of sizes for the Onatural pump. However, I am finding that it is extremely painful no matter what level of suction that I am on once it hits expression mode. It has a very jittery and just uncomfortable release of that suction, and when it does so, it just causes a lot of pain. I am a second-time mom. I've dealt with a lot of different hurdles through this journey, and so to cause a lot of pain, it takes a lot to get me there, and this pump definitely has it. So far, in 2 weeks of using, I have not found a better way to make it comfortable. No amount of lubrication, size, anything has really fixed this pump and troubleshooting it. I do have a coupon code for the Onatural pump. It is based in the UK. It is for 10% off, so it roughly will take it down $16 for you. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but anything counts whenever you're talking about these pumps, especially when you have to buy more than one to double pump. So that code is Lioness. It is again 10% off, and I'll leave the link and code down below.